I created Discovery IQ because I have to do discovery all the time. Now, discovery, I think, is a very wide term for a number of different activities. It could be qualifying an opportunity. So you're on a call, you're trying to find out what their problem is, how you can solve it, and whether they're actually something you want to go forwards with. It could be discovery in terms of preparing for a demo and you need to know what it is you need to show them. It could be discovering for a business case and you want to put together some metrics to understand. And that is across all industries. It doesn't just have to be software you're selling either. It could be a service you're providing. And I think trying to interview the customer essentially, listen to what they say, note all of that down, understand it, and then think of further questions you have to ask them. So when you write down your notes or you prepare your meeting or you tell leadership and they say, "Oh, did you ask about this?" And you go, "Oh, no, didn't ask about that." Trying to avoid that, it's just so hard. It's such a hard process. It's so mentally draining. And especially if you're doing this back to back and you have maybe a short break or no break and you're on to the next one and you have to switch gears into their industry or their mindset or their company, it can be a lot. So I've done this for years, but I wanted an easier way to do it. So I have used a page a day for years now because I am not a great note taker, and being able to flip to a particular day and know, oh, I know I had that meeting on this date, so I'm going to find my notes from there. And that helps me to a certain extent. I've also tried various technologies and different tools out there to record my notes, and I actually find that worse. I find that harder to search, weirdly, even though you can do proper searches. So then I thought, what do I really want to do? And so I created a whiteboard technology. Now, there's whiteboard solutions out there. There's one built into the tool I'm using to record this. But what I wanted was a way to just create post-it notes. So I actually have post-it notes on my desk as well, and I use those sometimes. So I had the idea, put post-it notes down everywhere, and then I wanted something magically to make sense of it. Show me any gaps. Remove a post-it note if it's no longer true, or somebody changes their mind, or I noted it down incorrectly. Add one in if it makes sense. So I created Discovery IQ so that we could group all of that discovery together, just make notes. This is there, or someone just randomly said this. And then Discovery IQ, at the touch of a button, would give me further questions to ask, because that's the bit I sometimes struggle with. I'm thinking about everything they've said. I've got a bit of a clear picture in my mind. What am I missing? What do I not know? And sometimes it's obvious. And sometimes that's really hard to think of on the spot. And you might think of it later on, but to think of it in that moment, at that exact time, not always easy. So Discover IQ has a button where you press generate questions and it looks at the current notes. So every time you press this button, it looks at the notes on the whiteboard and it generates you questions. So if you drag one of those questions onto the board and answer it, you generate questions again, that question disappears. It no longer needs to fill that gap. The best thing about Discovery IQ, the thing I'm probably most proud of, is you don't even have to tell it what you're selling. It will figure it out. So the product that I sell mostly, I don't need to name it. I'll just start naming different problems and it figures out that's what they're trying to buy. Because most of the time, the problem you're trying to solve can be solved with the solution you're selling. And if those two things fit, Discovery IQ will give you your clear answer. So whether you're in the construction industry, the financial industry, the healthcare industry, you just start recording your notes naturally and it will discern that for you. And then what I thought was really good as well, comprehensive notes. Now there's loads of really cool AI tools out there at the moment, and you say, summarize this and it gives you a summary. And I thought, how can Discovery IQ feed into that? How can it generate me my Salesforce notes or my notes for my stakeholders or my manager? And so at the touch of a button again, it will create you those notes based on what's currently on the board. You can take those, trim them down, save them so they're searchable by your company's AI tools. And then the last thing is you'll be in a deal review and someone might say to me, what are the gaps in this deal? What do we not know? So you can use the discovery questions, but also there is a way to identify the gaps. There's a button to press that. You click that button, it gives you those gaps. And now you can say, these are the things we don't know. These are the things we need to go into the next call and ask. And all of that is provided in Discovery IQ. You can try it for free at discoveryiq.co.uk. I think this tool could be really useful for you. So head over to discoveryiq.co.uk and give it a try.